What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay. If you haven't already, stop what you're doing and subscribe to my channel, please. So that way you can see when my next video drops. I am trying to bring them to you more frequently, but besides that, guys, I'm dropping them like maybe at least once a week. Hopefully we're gonna start doing more and more. But today's video, if you haven't already seen the title, of course, the reason why you're probably watching it, is gonna be all about football jigs. Why football jigs? Because I like football jigs, and football jigs are good in wintertime. But before we get into it, I do want to give a shout out to 9K Elite Lures. He's the guy who sat here and provided me with these awesome football head jigs. They are awesome. I would go check them out. The reason why I really like 9K Elite Lures, specifically why I'm giving them a shout out, because he does custom skirts. Like, you legitimately just kind of go, tell him what you want, and he will make it happen for you. They're good, they're quality, and they're custom. I love that. So go give him a shout out. I'll put his Instagram in here right somewhere, and go give him a shout out. Tell him you want some custom baits. Tell him I sent him your way if you want to. I don't get paid by him, so it really doesn't matter. I just like him. So there you go. But today's video, guys, is going to be all about football jigs. So, as you guys know, I have my handy dandy little notes that I like to sit here and look at so that I'm trying to keep my videos short with you guys because I'm not trying to do 45 minutes every time. You guys know I did a jig video already. We're going to go into detail about football jigs. Why football jigs? What is a football jig? All these little details. First things first, guys, football jig. Football head. She said it earlier. I did a blooper. Y'all aren't going to see that. Maybe I'll show a clip or something. I tried and I failed. So, big bites, cold water. Kind of where we're at right now, right? So let's get to it. Football jig. Come on, guys. We talked about this in my last video. What makes a football head jig a football head? I'm going to just, in case I didn't make it clear last time. It's the shape of a football. Anyway, duh. So.
Hey, Arnold.
Hey. If y'all aren't from the 90s, hey, Arnold. Anyway, so that is what makes, the biggest thing about a football head jig, a football head, like that's the thing. It's got a football head shaped. Football shaped head. Dang, I can't speak. I never can. Have you seen a video yet where I can speak clearly through the whole thing? I don't think it happens. Anyway, football shape. Now, the beautiful thing about these guys is those round ones, when you have a round one or you have an arky style, they will just fall flat, okay? When you put a trailer on this one, or no, I'm sorry, not flat. When I say flat, I mean like it goes off to the side. See, did you see that? It goes off to the side. See, literally this will not fall on its side. It's not like a thing. So when it hits the bottom, it's gonna be sitting just like that or even up at an angle like this a little bit when you have a trailer. It will not fall on its side. It's just, they're not made to fall on their side. I'm going to do that where there's like a lip, but it doesn't, unless I knock it over like with all my strength. Like when it hits on the bottom, it doesn't. That's one of the biggest things about those. They don't sit on their side underwater. They will sit like this, upright, and when you have the right trailer, they have those claws that float. Those are a beautiful thing. 3/8 ounce, half ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, and sometimes a half ounce, depending on how big of a water you're fishing. I fish ponds. I stick with 3/8 and half ounce. That's like the money for me. When you're fishing with a football head jig, guys, don't fish in grass. Just don't do that. Unless you want to catch grass, then use this all day. Then you can do that. Catching grass with a football jig will definitely happen. Football head jigs are meant to be fished on rocky bottoms, ledges, rocks, rough, not wood, and not grass. You will catch everything if you do that with grass or when you have an arky style head or you have a round head, they're more likely, if you get up in the wood, they're more likely to bounce out and get free. Football head jigs just aren't as likely to get free from that stuff. This flat head right here, if you get caught in grass, it literally will just catch it. It's not going to run past it like an Arky style. Arky style is that, those smooth-headed bullet kind of looking head. So that's more meant to go through grass and be swam through grass. Football head jigs are meant for rock bottoms and like ledges like that when you're dealing with, a pond that's like kind of man-made ponds typically when you have nothing but just the rock on the bottom. You're not dealing with grass. Another good place, when I say that, take it into consideration, another good place to do football head jigs is right on the edge of a grass line. Not in the grass line, on the edge of the grass line. And usually that's where the rocky part starts. I can't speak, sorry. But that's usually what happens. You get to that edge right there where the grass is. Football heads are good for the edge of a grass line. Let me think what I really want to tell you too. How do you fish a football head jig? There's like the three main ways that come to my mind, and it all has to do with when you're fishing, how you're fishing, what time of year, day, temperature, all that stuff comes into my mind when I think about fishing a football jig. If I'm like, I'm going out no matter what, and I'm fishing a football head jig, you can do that. It's how you fish it that makes all the difference. So let's say we're going outside in the cold right now. I'm not going to go and sit there and have it jerk and dance and do all that crazy stuff under the water. Not to say that won't work in the springtime. But right now, what it's called is that good old, I think it's like you just lob it out there and you let it drag. I don't know if there's like a throw and drag. I don't know if there's like a name for it, but you throw it out as far as you can. And depending on, if you're fishing from the bank, depending on if you're fishing from a kayak or a boat, you either let some line out so that your football jig falls directly to the bottom, so it's not coming back to you. Pull some line out after you throw it out, so it falls down. And then you want to take it and you want to, now some people do it differently. Some people do it up when they drag their line up. But when I'm doing it slower and I want it to stay on the bottom and I don't want it to do a whole lot of work, like I don't want it to do a whole lot of motions and moving, I take my line on my pole, it's already out there, and I drag it slowly to the side this way. Okay? That's all you gotta do. And then when you come back, if you're here, you just slowly reel in your extra that you literally made coming back this way. Now, like I said, that's just about the season right now. Right now, slow and steady. That's what's getting the fish right now, so that's how you want to fish it. Now, football jigs are good in the other seasons as well. And a good way to fish it that a lot of people do, one of the other main ways is hopping it. As you sit there, you throw it out there. You do basically the same exact thing. You lop it out as far as you can. So one beautiful thing about football jigs is they're meant to be just like chunked out there. Throw it out there as far as you can. And then you hop it up. Reel it in. Hop it up and reel it in. That's what you do with those. You want to get it off the ground, but you want it doing some erratic action. Now, you don't have to put a trailer on it. Me, I'm loyal to trailers. That's just what I do. I have some here just to show because I have mine are crawls. Crawls are my favorite. I have crawls in green. I have crawls in red. I have crawls in red. I have crawls in white. And white is a really good color. Specifically, that's actually one of my favorites. And then I have crawls in Junebug, or you can't tell, it just looks dark. Black and blue is dope too. And if you don't like crawls, well, this one's a swammer, but swim trailers with the paddle tails are dope too. Depends on how you're swimming your jig. The two ways I just mentioned are probably going to be better with crawl trailers, just to be real. The one last way that I would suggest to fish a football jig, it's probably the last way that I would fish a football jig, but it's what people do. It's one of the more popular ways as well, and it's actually swimming it. If you're going to swim a jig, why don't you throw a swim jig is what I say about that, but that's not the point. Not everybody's got a swim jig too, so you can swim a football jig. Think about the water that you're throwing it in. You still want the rocky bottoms. You are still not wanting to swim it through grass. I swear to you, you can go try it out if you think I'm wrong and you want to catch grass. But just grass and football head jigs, don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. But anyway, throw it out there as far as you can. And basically, depending on where you're wanting to swim it, and that's where the weight makes the difference too. If you're wanting it to stay towards the bottom, go with a heavier one. It's pretty much that simple. If you want something that you can, when you pull it up and it takes a little bit longer to get to the bottom, go with a lighter jig. That's that simple. I have 1/2 ounces here, and I have 1/2 ounces and 3/8. I want to see if I can pull out 2 different ones to show you the difference in size. I just think these are some cool looking. Dude, look at this custom. Like, I just can't even get over these little custom heads that he, like, look at that. That's like this one of the coolest, like, football head, like, these custom colors and stuff that he, like, anyway, I'm like losing track. ADD. Woohoo, welcome to the channel. Well, anyway. I know I have smaller ones here. What'd she do? She hid them from me, I swear. Oh, no, I'm just holding a smaller one, and I'm looking for a smaller one, and I have one in my hand, and I should have been looking for a bigger one. She's over there laughing. I don't know if that's going to really show a good difference in size. I hope it does. All right, so this is a 1/2 ounce, and then this right here is a 3/8 ounce. Like, I don't know if you can see the difference. Maybe, maybe not. They're barely a difference in size, but like they make all the difference in when how you're swimming them. Again, I'm a pond hopper. Typically, I'm looking to get into kayaking this year. That is one of my 2021 goals. But as of right now, I am still on the bank. So I use 3/8 and 1/2 ounce. Those are my go-to sizes. I know all you guys out there on the boats and things like that are like, oh, y'all don't lose anything but a 3/4 or a whole ounce. That's heavy for me. Like, I don't want to be breaking my back when I'm just walking the bank. But anyway, if I had a boat. All right. I lost my train of thought, like I always do, so let's get back to it. When I would throw a football jig, the idea behind a football jig is you want it to get to the bottom usually as quickly as you can. Generally speaking. Like I said, if you're swimming it and you don't have another option and you want to swim it, that's like where it makes one of the differences. But mainly the biggest point is you want it to get to the bottom, that rocky bottom. And I told you in one of my last videos, actually in the last video, the bigs are in the bottom. So like you want to get to the bottom as quick as you can. Football jigs are really good at doing that. Fluorocarbon is what I would recommend. Anywhere from, realistically what people use, let's be real. The average thing that people use is somewhere in the 12 to 20-pound range. Somewhere in that range, give or take. That's about where I'm at. I actually have a couple different sizes that I have as well. So that's what I would recommend. Fluorocarbon, it's more sensitive. It sinks. You can feel what happens with fluorocarbon too, especially depending on the name brand that you're using. Really look into your diameters, but we're not getting into specifics with line. Fluorocarbon, get yourself probably at least a 7-foot pole. I wouldn't go anywhere over that. You're getting 7'2", 7'3". Don't start getting giant. There's no reason for that. You can, depending on where you fish. This is me talking about pond fishing, okay? I know that when you start getting in bigger lakes and things like that, you got to get bigger rods to get the bigger fish. I know that. When it comes to gear ratio, get your 7 gears ratio, 7 point something. If you're on a slow roll, you can have a higher gear ratio. That's fine. Just remember to slow your roll. Be conscious of how much speed you have in your reel. If you know you have a 7-to-2 ratio or whatever, 7-to-1, 7-to-5, I think is what I have a couple of. I even have an 8-to-1. And believe it or not, I fish my 8-to-1 probably the slowest because in my mind, I'm super conscious of how fast that reel can really go. So I'm super slow with it too when I need to be. So 7 gear ratios will do okay. You can go even lower into the 6 gear ratios, 5 gear ratios if you're using spinning combos. Just, biggest thing is just make sure you're thinking about how you're retrieving your football jig. I like the side swipe. Made me think of Dora the Explorer, swipe or no swiping. Anyway, so I like the side swipe maneuver right now. That seems to be one of the more effective ways right now because it's the slow roll. We're dealing with cold water. She's in the background laughing. That's like gotta be, I wish I had like another camera to be like, whoop. Anyway. Slow rolls, how you're going right now. Football jigs can be fished any time of the year. It's all about how you fish it. I love football jigs. They're some of my favorites. When it comes to your jig trailers, it's like I said in my other one, and I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time, guys, with that one. Do what you want with it. Really. You got a green and orange jig? Cool. You want to put a red trailer on it? Go for it. Doesn't really matter. If it looks good, a lot of people are real specific about that, and I might get some like comments saying, no, you got to match it with it. I've seen some of the most successful jig fishing with like complete opposite color for trailer. Like, so it's going to be really hard for you to convince me that the trailer matters that much with color. You got to play around with it. You want to match the hatch, do that, that's cool. But at the same time, depending on what you're trying to do, like I got a pink and purple and white jig right here. And this would probably, you want to know something that I think, and maybe I'm one of the only few that think this, but that purple color, I think, is actually better than blue. I just said it. I really did. I said it. I think purple is better than blue. Sorry, guys. Black and purple, gotta be better than black and blue. That's going to be so much hate right there. Black and blue, my girlfriend really likes this color. She's a mess. She's over there acting like that. But, what kind of trailer do you put on that? A white one, I guess? June bug?
Pink.
Or a pink one? I don't have pink crawls.
The pink one.
I have pink worms, but worms don't do trailers very well. She's just pink. That's all she thinks about. But my point with this one was, it's not, when you look at this one, you don't just automatically have a trailer that you're like, yes, it'll go great with this trailer. So change it up. Look at your trailers. Look at your jigs. Pair them together. If they look good, try it. That's all you can do. That's the best advice that I can ever give to anybody who watches my videos. Look it up, go out there, and try it. I know it's not that easy sometimes, but that's the only way you're really going to know. You can listen to me all day long. That doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me wrong. It just means I have an opinion and you're listening to it. I love football jigs. I recommend going and fishing and trying them out. I think they're awesome. Football jigs are one of my favorite jigs, I think. Those and, I don't know. Football jigs are definitely like one of my favorite jigs. Maybe Arky styles are some of my favorites too, just the good old casting jigs. But football jigs definitely got a good place in my heart when it comes to jigs in general. Anyway, guys, I'm cutting my video here, I think. We're going to cut it short. I can't see. It's so bright. I cannot see where I'm at with my time. I hope we're 17 minutes. Shiza, I got you almost at 20. Oh, I know, that wasn't a cuss word.
I know.
But, that's what I say instead of the bleeping. Anyway, guys, all right. Let me know what you think of the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Be sure to turn on all your notifications so that you know when my next video is dropping. It is 2021 officially. I'm not going to say that anymore because we're like almost 2 weeks into the new year. I'm going to bring you new videos. But anyway, like I said, like, subscribe, comment, turn on all your notifications. And as you guys know, if we are out there fishing, if we are out there able to fish, you guys know how it goes, right? No complaints.